I love the skin. I love, love, love. I love your skin. I love our skin. I love that you're talking about the microbiome. I mean, just our skin alone, like we have billions of microorganisms living on our skin, right? I mean, we have trillions of bacteria and fungi and viruses and other, the skin just has everything. Like it literally has its own culture going on. And just like in the gut, when there's an imbalance in something, there's going to be a reaction. And with the skin, you see it all the time. When you start looking at people's skin, you're like, oh my gosh. And one thing I've taught when it comes to homotoxicology is that like the last place a disease will show up is on the skin. When it's on the skin, when the skin starts looking like it's not beautiful anymore, there's a lot of excessive wrinkles, you've got a lot of dots, you have liver spots, then we know something is actually quite serious in the body. Because when you have something going on internally in the body, minerals and vitamins are needed. So the body will grab them from the bloodstream. It'll grab them from it's quite easy to take it out of the bones and give everybody osteoporosis and pre-osteoporosis. That's pretty easy to do. Like you don't know it yet because your skin isn't showing it and you don't even realize you probably have that going on, but the body will suck all the minerals it can out of the bone structure and then it attacks the skin. So by the time the skin is not looking good, you know you've actually lost an incredible amount of nutrient density. And that's just how it is. And so when you look at the skin and when things start showing up on the skin, we need to realize, okay, there is an imbalance to the skin. And so I'd love to talk about that for a little bit because I have a lot of experience with it and working with my clients because, you know, when you have a client come to you and you're working with someone who has skin issues, obviously the first thing you have to ask is, what are your bowels like? You know, because if there's a skin issue, well, we need to make sure that all the toxins are actually coming out of the body. If they're not coming out of the body, they might be trying to come out of the skin. So 2 or 3 bowel movements a day is extremely important for skin health. Who would have known, right? And then we do want to look at what's being put on the skin. I am adamant. I don't put anything on my skin that I can't pretty much eat. My soap is the soap that I have been making. My company has been making it for decades now, for 15 years, sorry. And so like that is still what I use on my skin. It's what I use in my hair. And yes, it's it's available right now. We can send it to you from our store, but it'll all be on the online store that's opening in a couple weeks. I know, get excited. The new one that we created with rose and cacao is going to blow your mind. But anyhow, and so these are foods you can eat, right? So because you're going to nourish your skin. Coconut oil, I put on my skin. Olive oil, you can put on your skin. I don't use those very often because I don't need to right now. But if my skin ever gets dry or I'm like, oh gosh, I went through after Christmas and I ate too much sugar or something, I will put olive oil all over my skin to nourish it again. So let me talk about, if you don't mind, I'm going to shoot a bunch of things off with clients that I've had, then what we could do to help reverse their skin issues. Because it is, a lot of people do ask me about my skin. There's no way I could count how many hundreds of women have stopped me and asked me about my skin. And so I've had talked a lot about this and I've had clients come to me with that, especially when they're older in their 60s or 70s and their skin just doesn't look good anymore. And it really does come down to nutrients. You wouldn't believe how much skin can change by simply using magnesium spray. And the favorite one that we believe in is on our website on the store. And again, you'll get access to this within the next little bit. But it's phenomenal. And it's a magnesium spray you can just spray on your skin. And it is amazing what happens to the skin when just magnesium is added to it, because magnesium is needed by so many of the cells. I don't know how many of you know, but like tea seed oil, and I'm a big proponent of tea seed oil for the skin. It's actually known as one of the secrets of Asian skin care is tea seed oil applied to the skin. They still take it internally, even though I know we need to be aware of seed oils. It has been incredible for health. And that's mainly what we used for probably 11 years in our center. We use some olive oil, but we use tea seed oil almost exclusively.
Now, not to be confused with tea tree oil. So
not tea tree, tea seed oil. It's the seed from the green tea plant or from the tea plant.
Yeah, tea seed oil. Okay, just clarifying. And I don't know how much it costs now, but back in the day, it was probably 33% more expensive than a standard jar of oil. So with inflation, it might even be 50% higher. I haven't checked the prices online lately.
And we don't know. We may be able to get it in bulk and sell it at the store. It's just not been the number one priority. But anyhow, and so a couple of things to think of. When skin starts having an issue, pretty much know there's something internally going on. So you can do your testing, find out what you need to find out to see what you need to balance inside, but please note that you do need extra minerals and vitamins. I'm going to always suggest smoothies for that, green smoothies, your spirulina, your chlorella, your barley grass juice powder. I don't care how you get your greens in. I would prefer that you don't do it with sucrose or any of those awful fructose added things, right? All these little packets that taste sweet and you can get your greens. No, it's not daily greens. Daily greens is like 2 tablespoons of greens, that are mixed, right? But anyhow, by getting that nutrition, those vitamins and minerals, very important. And so I would definitely recommend that. I do recommend using olive oil topically, an extra virgin olive oil topically on the skin before you go to bed. For those who are looking to restore their skin health, phenomenal. Oils, healthy oils are probably one of the best things you can do for the skin, not just topically, but also eating. So increasing the olive oil that you do eat, coconut oil. So just using those 2 oils, very beneficial. Selenium is needed by the skin. I'm a big selenium proponent. I love selenium. Selenium is needed not just for the skin, but many, many studies have been done on selenium for cancer. And like the people who take selenium regularly, it's like 90% less chance they'll ever have cancer. So it's like, okay, no brainer. We're taking selenium, So selenium just in general is phenomenal. It's also great for breast health when for monthly, if you have clients or yourself, you experience that tenderness of the breast during your menstrual cycle. It's almost always a selenium deficiency. Please be aware vitamin E needs to be taken along with selenium. So if you have a really good selenium product, it should have vitamin E in it. Otherwise, if you're taking selenium like from Brazil nuts, that has vitamin E in it as well. But you can also take some, more of your foods that are loaded with vitamin E. Just look at my mineral charts. All that's in my vitamin and mineral charts. Anyhow, so selenium obviously being the mineral and E being the vitamin. Anyhow, so those are some things that I wanted to mention right off the bat. Now, I do speak a lot with psoriasis because psoriasis is an issue a lot of people have come to us with. And yes, there's creams you can use, et cetera, et cetera. But really, I think one of the biggest proponents for psoriasis is there is a reaction at the skin level and at the gut level, and maybe Amy touched on it, I missed the first 8 minutes, between leaky gut caused by excessive gluten, right, in the body, as well as dairy. And so dairy and gluten, usually removing those from the diet within 3 months, psoriasis and eczema actually can be eliminated. I've seen that happen very many times. I do recommend probiotics during that time. And again, using good oils and nutrients on the body, but you do need to clear up the leaky gut that was caused, in the first place. So those are things that I think Amy might have already touched on, but I do want to mention because I have worked with a lot of people that have had skin issues. And so cleaning the bowels is the number one thing. I can't even tell you how many clients have had incredible skin results by just having more bowel movements. And of course, doing the bowel movements, it's always going back to nutrition and detox and making sure you have enough magnesium. You all know the drill on increasing bowel movements, but gosh, I tell you, the longer you study, I hope the more you realize so much of this is affected by simply what you eat, what you drink, what you put on your skin, and sun exposure. I just did a video today on sun exposure. Tabitha had reached out and said, Karen, everyone's going on vacation. We just need to talk about the sun. I really strongly recommend sun exposure. All year long. Your body needs the sun. You're able to make melatonin, vitamin D. There's so much that happens when the body is exposed to the sun. For those of you who have clients who might be worried about the sun, if there's medications that your clients are taking and that you're taking that are photosensitive, obviously you can't be in the sun. I would highly recommend looking for a way to get off that medication because anything that keeps you out of the sun is probably not going to not going to help you with your longevity because you actually need the sun. So I'd really encourage you to look at apple cider vinegar and different products you can take to kind of help get off of some of those medications that are more photosensitive for you and your clients. But I would recommend understanding the melanin of the skin and how that functions. Now, I do want to mention that people who have issues with melanin in the skin, looking at the amino acid, the phenol one, that amino acid in particular, phenylene is really important. So if you have people that have like white spots on their skin or really sensitive to their skin, that is the amino acid that is very, very important for the skin. That and B vitamins. There's a couple things for the vitamins that you can take, selenium, the B vitamins, and looking at that particular amino acid. And you can get that as an isolate, even though I'm not huge into isolates, might be something you want to consider doing for a few months just to beat that up. Otherwise, again, look at your amino acid chart, look at the foods that are higher in that amino acid so you can eat more of those. And so those are things I definitely recommend for skin issues. And again, please always reiterate to your friends and your family and your students or your clients that skin grows from the inside out. It just does. It grows from the inside out, and it will appear as the last thing as the body sucks nutrients out of the organs, glands, and tissues and bones that it can, and the muscles, it will then start sucking it out of the skin. So again, going back to greens and lots of vitamins and minerals, healthy oils. This is a huge proponent to wonderful and healthy skin. Lots of fiber. I mean, I know there's all these products people can talk about and all these things they can use for their skin. And when Amy was like, okay, who do we have speak for skincare? And, she selected somebody for it. But I'm also like, I have really great skin. I probably know a few things about this. Like this is, this is something I'd love to talk about because it's what I live, and it's not that extreme. It really isn't extreme to eat sauerkraut and to eat avocado. Every day I have avocado. Like it's just part of the practice, right? So it's not extreme to live with healthy food in your house. It's just not extreme. I think it's extreme to eat a hot dog. Like that's pretty extreme to me, but I'm not that I haven't had a bite of one. I did go to New York and I had an entire New York hot dog. It was amazing a few years ago, but it was super fun. But I'm just saying, like, just understanding that your clients are going to need you, but the more of an example you are in healthy living and your skin, the more the clients are going to trust what you have to say. So it won't hurt for everybody to kind of start grabbing some organic olive oil and put it all over your body tonight and go to bed. Tomorrow night, do the same thing. Do a sauna. I'm huge into saunas. And oh my gosh, I should really mention. So my husband, we are so madly in love. It's really quite sickening. But anyhow, his skin, voila, like major change since we're in the sauna every day. Like it's still 100 and some degrees here in Georgia. And we're in the sauna every morning, 145 to 155 degrees for an hour, right? The sauna just expels toxins, and it's incredible for your health because it increases the heat shock proteins. So you're able to fight off anything before you even know you have it. All those health benefits of the sauna, circulatory, it's incredible for, but the skin, you are detoxing through your skin when you are in the sauna, and it feels incredible. So dry skin brushing, sauna, using olive oil, using coconut oil, and the sun, please, before you go out into the sun, I really, 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 really recommend no sun tanning lotions at all, but I do recommend coconut oil. So if you're like, okay, Karen, but I'm going to go outside in the sun, try some coconut oil. If you need to use a suntan lotion, go on ewg.org and look for the better one that's allowed here in America. It won't be copper tone, but anyhow, so you do want to look at what you want to, and you can have you can make great sunscreens and sell them to your clients. They'll love you for it. There's a lot of things you can natural. And I do want to add one more thing, and that is alkalinity of the body. As your body alkalizes, and you can test it, get the pH strips. I have them on my toilet. You can test your pH in the morning or test your pH at night. You can test your pH. And as your body alkalizes and gets that 7.2 alkalization in the bloodstream, you are going to find you don't burn. You just don't burn. Greg was like, every year I burn, every year I burn, every year I burn. This year he didn't have a burn. He didn't burn. And he's like, we just went hiking in Utah with his shirt off or 119 degrees in Utah with full sun, right? For 3 weeks we were out there and he was doing hiking and had his shirt off. Not a single burn because his body is alkaline now. And so these things actually do make a very big difference and think of it, it's not that hard to understand. When the body's acidic and you have acid in the body trying to get out and the sun is heating on you, the acid coming to the surface of the skin with the sun and the UVB rays or UVA rays, those are even worse, right? When that is hitting the skin and toxins, acid is at the surface, yeah, we're going to burn. When the skin is alkaline, there's no acid to burn. This is not hard to understand. It's just hard to help people understand that because they've been told to avoid the sun and they're told they're going to burn in the sun. And yes, if you're eating French fries and potato chips most of your life, you're probably going to burn in the sun. Or if you're on medications that are photosensitive, you're going to be very careful. So I know if you've heard me speak on skin, you're like, oh, Karen is saying the exact same thing. But maybe if I say it 4,000 times, it'll help somebody. But I apologize if you heard me speak on this and you don't want to hear me speak on it again, but I'm not going to sell you something for your skin, except my soap, which you all should be using. But I'm not going to sell you stuff for your skin because you don't need it. I firmly believe you can heal your skin from what you eat and then nourishing it with magnesium sprays and wonderful, oils for the skin. I really firmly believe that.
Love that, Karen. If we were in a church and we could say hallelujah, we would. So thank you so much for that amazing, empowering spiel on the skin. And while you were talking, I it just further reiterated me the direct direct parallel between gut health protocols and skin care protocols. Like when I was thinking about like, okay, you're talking about what do you put on your skin. You're talking about the skin microbiome, the skin's need for oil, or healthy fat, the skin's need for minerals, the skin's need for having enough antioxidants coming from the inside out and for removing things that cause inflammation and oxidative stress. It's like the exact same stuff that your gut needs. When you guys think about, okay, someone has a gut health issue or someone has leaky gut, I'm curious what your first thoughts are. And I would love to share with you just like a simple 5-step leaky gut protocol right now, just so that the next time someone's dealing with it, you have like the first line of defense. So grab your pen and paper. So when it comes to healing from leaky gut, um, it is a combination of adding the correct things in while removing things that are causing inflammation. So I'm going to start with what to add back in, and then we're going to talk about removing things that cause inflammation. So things that you definitely want to flood the gut with are bioavailable minerals. And keep in mind and then also vitamins. So half of your vitamins are water soluble and half of your vitamins are fat soluble. So fat can be a wonderful driver of minerals and vitamins into the body. So this is why people typically talk about things like bone broth or making sure you add some fats to your vegetables when you steam them or like cook them. Just combining fats with the vegetables that you're eating. Typically, if someone has a super sensitive gut, they may do better on lightly steamed vegetables than completely raw vegetables because the steaming does help to denature and break down parts of the plant that are a little irritable that a healthy gut can handle, but a leaky gut can be sensitive to. So typically, like lightly steamed vegetables and more soups are going to be more gentle on a gut that's recovering from leaky gut. So you're going to want to go high minerals. You're going to want to go a decent amount of healthy fats, and you can split that between like good sourced, a really healthy olive oil, or like Karen mentioned, coconut oil or tea seed oil, as well as ethically sourced animal products and animal fats. So of those, that's going to naturally contain collagen, by the way, especially if you do the whole bone broth route, which for some people that's really helpful for their gut. My body never did well with bone broth. I don't know why. I wish it did. I'd like love to be a bone broth girl. Just never really sat well in me. So anyway, so see if that's helpful or not. And then the other thing you're going to want to add in is if you're not like very diverse with your minerals, one thing that can really help is supplementing with humic or fulvic acid because their humic and fulvic acid is basically decayed organic plant material that's far enough along in the decay process that like you can't identify it anymore, but it usually has like 80 different minerals in it. So a little bit of humic and fulvic acid can go a long way in the gut to help repair the intestinal lining. One other thing and then obviously you're going to want to look at the correcting the gut microbiome, which has just as much to do with the environment you create down there as it does with what you're supplementing with, but finding a good broad spectrum probiotic or spore-based probiotic is going to be really helpful. So, so definitely that. People used to be really big on supplementing with was it L-glutamine for the gut?
Yes, we were.
Now, what they did come out with recently is that while L-glutamine is the most prevalent amino acid that helps repair the intestinal lining, it can cause the proliferation of certain unhelpful strains of gut bacteria. So it's not really necessary. There's some people who are still going to tell you to supplement with L-glutamine, but I've never used it in my protocols and people have been just fine. Okay. So there's various supplements. Other supplements someone may add in would be like aloe vera and then marshmallow root and slippery elm bark are very traditional Chinese herbs that can help. So if someone's looking to supplement, look for gut health supplements that have those in it. But a lot of this can be done without even supplementation. I'm just mentioning that right now. So then just up the mineral dense, high fat, lightly steamed, decent amount of protein, decent amount of fiber foods at the same time that they are eliminating things that are causing acute inflammation like gluten, processed dairy, like often very sugary dairy products, for example, like yogurts and milk, definitely in this case, and especially inflammatory oils. So anything that's like deep fried or highly processed as far as oils go, those things tend to be very inflammation causing. So remove the inflammatory agents and then introduce the healthy foods. And then the last part of this is nervous system regulation, because the immune system, Karen, what percent of the immune system is in the gut? Is it 70%?
Yeah, it's almost eight. It's some even estimate it's over 83%.
Over 80, up to over 83%. That's incredible. Okay. So,
Yeah,
a
so
lot
I know
of your,
I used to teach it was 60 to 70%, but now some of them are over 83.
so
So
a lot of the immune system is housed in the gut. And what this means for us is that we know that when we're stressed out, the body down regulates the immune system because it does not have time to fight an infection if it is in a state of fight or flight. You heal in rest and digest. Your body knows that. It's like, I'm going to heal when I am chilling on my bed in a safe environment. I'm not going to try to fight an infection at the same time that I'm like trying to make a corporate deadline or having this argument with my mother-in-law or running from a bear. So people who are chronically stressed get this chronic downregulation of their gut health immune system activity. And that leads to the proliferation of unfavorable microbes in the gut, especially candida, guys. If you know anyone who's dealing with candida overgrowth and they can't get rid of it, it's either heavy metal toxicity or some kind of funky mold exposure, or it's chronic stress. Okay, it could be all three. So just keep that in the back of your head when it comes to candida. But as far as leaky gut goes, the nervous system could be the only thing they change and their gut heals. Like literally, it could be the only thing they change and their gut like heals up because of the way the nervous system is controlling blood flow to the digestive organs and because of the way cortisol down regulates immune system activity in a state of stress. Are you guys following me so far? Give me like a thumbs up if this is making sense. I know I didn't have this for you on like a beautiful graphic, so hopefully you got some of those notes down. But yeah, those are basic protocols for leaky gut. So get rid of actually, I probably don't need to summarize it, but I'll put it in the chat. All right. So I was just laughing, Karen, because when you were talking about the skin and like applying oil and making sure you don't mess up the gut microbiome, they don't recommend washing your whole body off with soap, by the way. That is not good for your skin microbiome. They recommend like you can use soap, apply it to your hands and like put it over your stinky areas if you want. But the best case scenario is actually just rinsing. So anyway, not a lot of.
yeah, but I don't mind. I mean, my soaps, I have no problem using those in the body because they're nourishing to the body. That's the whole thing is like, it's what's in the soap.
That's fair.
That-
That's fair.
So I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. I was just listening to a skin microbiologist going off because she was like, everyone just talks about the gut microbiome. And she's like, you have way more microbiome. I don't know if she said way more, but she says your skin microbiome is like just as important. And everyone's washing it off with soap and water every day. She's like, I'm so annoyed. She's like, protect your skin microbiome. Like that plays a huge role in your immune system, actually, is like the microbes developing on your skin. Who knew? So anyway.
I'll be an advocate for washing hair all the time because using a really healthy, good soap because of the mold and the toxins that you're exposed to when you're out in the city or around about, and then you sleep with your head on a pillow. People don't change their pillows often enough, and they just continually are absorbing that. I've seen way too many people get well, even from allergies, by washing their hair more often and drying it. You should just dry before you go to bed, but anyhow, so I'm still going to be using the soap that we can practically eat made out of really healthy oils. But yeah, I think it's also because so many soaps are so toxic that they are destroying their microbiome. Amy, amen for her. And microfiber cloths, really great idea. By the way, are you all impressed? I have been answering all of you in the chat section. Am I being cool? I am learning from Amy. Okay, just putting it there. I have to note myself that I put a pat on my back because I always ignore the chat section. And I'm like, oh, I'll be like Amy and I'll chat in the chat section. So just thought I'd throw it out there.
Well, I'll learn from you one day and just speak my mind without any disclaimers or caveats. We will all learn from Karen, her voice. Big K, I wanted to say one last thing about the things we smell while we're sleeping. and the role that the bedroom environment plays. I was friends with it. Okay, I hope this doesn't give anyone the EBGBs, but it is relevant if you're ever working with someone and they can't figure out what's going on. Her health was just spiraling down. She was getting allergic to everything, like food, pets, and she worked as a professional bird lady. So like bird shows, she worked with birds all day. So she was always with animals and she started getting allergic to everything. And remember, guys, allergies are a sign of what? Immune system dysregulation, because your immune system is losing its accuracy and losing its power. And that's why, or it's getting hyperreactive. But anytime someone has allergies, that's a symptom of immune system dysregulation and also potentially leaky gut. Actually, I would say absolutely leaky gut. So anyway, her health is spiraling down, and I'm watching this girl's story on Facebook for a year as she's like crying for help. She's like, they're running every test. We can't figure out what's wrong. I'm gonna have to quit my job. I have no energy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I hope you guys can still sleep at night after you hear this. But do you know what? They figured it out. She had a pillow that was like this, like filled with these little things. And she would wash her hair every night before she went to bed and lay down, and the moisture would get absorbed by the pillow. They cut it open and it was full of mold. So she was just like sleeping on a pillow full of mold every night. And that was the only place it was in her room. She didn't have like mold coming in through her airways or in through the walls. It was like in this pillow in her room. So they got rid of that immediately. And yeah, her symptoms slowly cleared up. And then she got to like keep her favorite job. So isn't that crazy? I'll never forget there was a program that they were trying to get approved by in Utah. That was the whole approach was to decrease the level of hospital admissions from children having asthmatic attacks by going into homes and teaching the family how to clean bedrooms better and like get dust out of the room and choose fabrics that are favorable, because these kids' hospital admissions were totaling like in some families over 100K a year, and they showed you can get those reduced to a quarter if the family goes through this training program to learn how to like clean the house properly and get those room environmental exposures out of these kids who have, you know, that, and like keep the dogs in a separate room. And so there's not extra fur and all these things for kids who have the sensitivity to it. And the hospital chain refused to fund the program because they said that hospital admissions from asthmatic attacks in children were one of their most reliable sources of revenue. And so the hospital said, we brought this up with the board and they refused to fund it because this is like how we keep our door. This is like one of the things that keeps our doors open. That was when I was like studying public health back in Utah and we were like talking to the public health departments. Crazy. So definitely some work we need to do on our profit-driven healthcare system. But that's just to go to show, guys, the role that environmental triggers in a bedroom can definitely play a role in skin and overall health.
Yeah.
Back to you, Big K.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, I'm just listening. That's exactly it. So, amen. And I don't know how many of you like go to the skin section, the Human Body Master Guide. Hopefully all of you have the access to that because there's loaded information in there. If you have people that have issues with acne and issues with this, there's so much information. The homeopathic clear skin is amazing. There's just so many things that people can try. But you'll be very surprised at how many of it is just gut related, hormone related, not having good bowel movements, not good enough probiotics in the gut. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the gut to skin issue. But again, acne is a little bit different. We talk about different things you can use on, for acne in the Human Body Master Guide, but skin in general, the rashes, all these different things. You will find you or your clients might get far worse before you get better when you actually start detoxifying the skin. Because that's the way out of the body. There's only 4 ways out of the body. Remember that. So the body needs to get rid of mold, and the body needs to get rid of cancer, the body needs to get rid of stuff. It's going to come out the skin. Because it can come out through your bowels, which is the best and easiest way. But if the bowels are at all compromised, your skin is so easy, right? Vomiting, that's not so fun. The body doesn't like it, and you can urinate or cough things out. But man, the skin is second to bowels because it's just easy. So don't be alarmed and don't worry if the skin gets worse. I have literally seen cancer come out of the skin, literally just come out of the skin. I have a client right now who literally, I'm like, you're going to take clay baths 3 times. I tested him 3 times a week. You're going to apply this black salve onto the body and all these areas across the whole back, and then put tachyon on. This is if you aren't aware of this is a really good protocol, you guys. Black salve and then tachyon. You can get the small tachyon discs. Again, they'll all be on the website, which hopefully is going live any minute. I got to call Jade. Anyhow, put the tachyon over there and put a Band-Aid over it. Oh my gosh, cancer literally just come right out of the skin. I've seen it visually with my own eyes. It's been on my clients. It's been amazing. So again, tachyon 0 point energy. Rachel or Sarah or someone, I probably should do another presentation on that sometime soon, but it is really fascinating.
Karen, what sauna do you recommend?
Okay, there's 2 of them that I love the most. Clear light, that's what I'm in every day right now, and then sunlight. They're both excellent saunas. I've owned both of them. And I have another one right now, but I don't love it as much as I like clear light and sunlight. So those are my 2 saunas.
And then Tara asked a question.
What's the price of that, Karen?
Saunas? The one that I have, I paid full price for. It was like $5,000. I put it on a payment plan when I did buy it, like $400 a month. That is a single person clear light sauna, but I wanted that one. I like the style, and it was just for me. I will tell you, both Greg and I fit in it just fine. I thought, oh dear, someone doesn't want to be in the sauna, but we actually fit in it just fine. So we don't have any problem. So you can fit 2 people in a 1-person sauna if you're relatively, of healthy stature.
What kind of space? What kind of space would you need for that?
Are you talking about in your house? I would
going upstairs. He's in a measure it.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's probably only 4.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's even 4 feet. So he's gonna go measure it. He'll let us know.
Okay, cool. Thank
I have a
you.
question about saunas. So I'm curious, for one who exercises maybe like an hour a day and sweats, that's a nice form of detox, but how does the sauna compare to that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because I actually, it's so great you said it, Tammy. I actually will exercise and then get in the sauna. So I'll exercise for a half an hour. I'll get on my bike. I'll do dancing. I'll do whatever I'm doing. So I usually do my yoga, and then I go exercise, and I'll still get in a sauna. The nicest thing about the sauna, Tammy, and everybody, is that you don't use your adrenals in the sauna. Or when you're exercising, cortisol will pump in, we're getting adrenaline's flushing through. You get in the sauna, the whole body relaxes, but the circulatory system kicks in. And so that's why I love the sauna. So, and I actually have had trainers, because we sponsored athletes when we had our building open in Utah. And we had some phenomenal athletes that worked with us, and some of them came in and they were just like wiped out. They didn't even have enough, energy to make love anymore. Like their whole bodies were shot. They felt like they're falling apart, and they were working out like 6-7 hours a day training. And I'm like, we need to go to a sauna regimen for the next 3 weeks. Right. And so, because it just helped restore health to their adrenals. So I think using both of them would be amazing, even if you'd only sauna 3 times a week. So sauna isn't just for sweating. The thing with far infrared heat is it does penetrate the body. So you actually have a heat down at the bottom of the skin level, which you don't get from exercising. And so within that far infrared heat, that is, it causes your body to purge at a whole different level when it comes to sweating than just exercise sweat. So that's probably, and then of course you get, better heat shot protein when you're using far infrared heat. What in the world? Anyhow, and so again, you can do both. I do both. I love it. I don't.
So you recommend an infrared?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I prefer the far infrared sauna. I've been in many of steam saunas as well. It's just not, to me, it's not as effective. It just isn't. I've been in many of them, but I really prefer. Now, I can tell you, while we were vacationing for 3 weeks, we happened to stay at this one Airbnb, and they had a steam shower, right? Oh my gosh. Have you guys ever used a steam shower? Like, you literally throw the steam on, and within 5 minutes or so, it's like really hot, and it's so steamy. You can't even see each other, and you're just sweating. It was really fun. It's not far infrared. You can only do that for 9 or 10, 15 minutes. You're like, I'm going to die. But anyhow, it's cool. Okay. What's the measurements here?
42 wide
42 what?
and 48 deep, including the
48
glass
deep.
doors.
Okay, I was wrong. That includes the glass. This is a fancy one, you guys. It's 48 deep because I wanted the glass doors that go out. It just gives a little bit more room. And I you know what I do every morning while I'm in the sauna, just to let you know, I make us both quart jars. and I've got a quart of water and I put a scoop of zeolite in there and a half a lemon. So that's what we drink while we're in the sauna. And I don't know how many of you know, but you probably heard me. I never watch movies. We never take time to watch TV. My poor kids are without even a TV. We just didn't put time into that, right? Well, my husband loves Westerns and all these fun movies. So he actually put a TV in front of the sauna. So every morning I get an hour of like cultural revolution. Like right now, what are we watching right now? Silverado. I watched Tombstone last 2 days. So you can watch documentaries. And right now I'm just getting caught up on the world. Cool Man Luke. Now that was a good one. Cool Hand Luke. That was a good one. Right. Anyhow, I don't recommend Saturday Night Live. That was the stupidest movie ever. Saturday Night Fever. That was the stupidest movie. I never saw it either, but no reason to ever watch that. But anyhow, so you can make it fun and do something fun when you're in the sauna. So we watch movies. Okay, and one of my favorite though, what was the one where the guy turned into the girl, had Steve Martin in it? What was that movie?
All of me.
All of Me. Oh,
Steve Martin always
cute. So if you really want a cute movie, you just have to watch All of Me. It'll just make you smile. I sent it to my parents. I thought it was so cute. Okay, none of you care about that. I know you don't care. I'm just telling you. Put on some documentaries. Before I met Greg, it was all documentaries while I worked out, while I jumped on my trampoline, while I'm on my bike. It was always documentaries. But
I can verify that that's true. And the only thing Karen said that isn't true is that we never watch movies. She let us watch movies if we like worked outside in the sun for 12 hours and contributed our share to the family businesses. Then we would have a family movie night. It's okay. It's not a sports tactic. We liked it. Anyway, I'm kidding. Only slightly though.
Can I ask a skincare question?
yeah,
I have a dermatologist that has been burning off my forehead for about, I don't know how many years, like, precancers. And I started to doubt it, especially after studying with you guys like a couple of years ago. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then she just so happens to take 3 things off. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Every single time I go. And I'm just like, 3, that's interesting. So I'm just, and happens to be one of my friend's sister, so anyway, I've been doubting it for a while now. And I don't know what to do.
you bet. Well, let me help you with this. Because
Okay, great.
the gentleman that I saw this weekend literally has had things burnt off his back for 30 years, right? And his forehead and his body. And I'm like, oh my word, what they have done to this man, right? Please get black salve. Okay, get a good black salve and get tachyon. And you can get tachyon and put it under your pillow, a big tachyon disc. You can put it behind I have one on the headboard. So when I'm sleeping, and it goes through the headboard, it's 0 point energy. So you can put it on the headboard, and there's just so much you can do without having to burn things off. But the biggest thing is, why is it coming out of your forehead? So we need, yes, and we will have black salve in the store. You guys, I know I'm making you wait, but I'm not. You can go anywhere and buy whatever you want. I don't care. We are going to have this customer thing where you put your name in and then we're giving you points. I can't remember how it all goes because Jay's in charge of it, but we'll take care of it. Anyhow, and so black salve you can put on the skin. But again, what I would be interested in finding out, Mary, is like, why do you have something coming out of the skin in the first place? Like, what is causing it to come out? I'm wondering why certain detox channels may not be open right now. So I always, before detoxification, look at nutrition.
Yeah.
So I would test your alkaline level every morning, get some pH strips, and I need to order those. I got to put those on the list. I need
All right.
lists everywhere. Anyhow, pH strips. So I would do that. I would go ahead and start testing your pH in the morning. You can do your salivary pH as well as the urine, and just start alkalizing the body quite a bit more. Again, easiest way to do it is going to be spirulina, chlorella, barley grass juice, whatever you can do, but just start testing your pH to see where you're at, because I don't know if it's a medication coming out. I don't know if you would have had, some people have that coming out of their skin because they had, when they were pregnant and had a baby, anesthesia. Anesthesia can be in the body for 30 years, you guys, literally.
Wow.
I had it come out of me, and I had my babies 27 years earlier, and it finally came out when I was doing detoxification. It was absolutely amazing. But anyhow, so there's certain things that stay in the body, and that could be it. But I'd like to see what happens if you started even before something appears, using a little bit of black salve to
Yeah.
to help that, and magnesium to draw things out. I'm excited
All
to see
right.
what happens.
Yeah, because I don't actually see it. She finds
Mhm.
it through this microscope thing, and
Mhm.
except for dry skin patches, that's all it is. And
Yeah.
she always just blamed it on getting burned as a kid.
If they're that now, if skin regenerates how fast, like bizarrely fast. Anyhow, I would honestly then, if they're that small, I would just start putting olive oil, topical olive oil on your skin.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would start with olive oil and maybe magnesium spray 2 or 3 times a week. That's all I do right now. I really would.
Great.
Like, I'd recommend to
Love
everybody.
it.
Everybody start putting olive oil over the body. Make sure it's extra virgin olive oil and it's organic.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I would do that and then spray magnesium on your body a couple times a week just to see where you go with it. It's gonna be really fun.
Great. Thank
And-
you.
And
Yeah.
Mary, if you do have someone who muscle tests, or like does applied kinesiology, or a chiropractor who you trust, or someone in your circle who's really good at muscle testing, you might be good at it. I would also have them just like test a few different things to see what could help, because there may even be like an essential oil in a carrier oil. So you don't want to be putting a lot of essential oils on your face. Like sometimes it's even a half drop like for the whole face, so it's not a lot. But there could be something there that would also be helpful. So maybe
All
check
right.
it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mary, for speaking up. I just had one closing thought, Karen, if that works with you. And my computer's at 5%, so, and the power at my house is off, which is why it's slowly getting darker on my screen. Anyway,
The power's off.
yeah, it's okay though. Don't worry about me. So,
Your neighborhood is so weird.
we all know that cells have different lifespans in the body. So you're on average 7 years old, but these cell types span from like a few hours in age to like your whole life. Like some of your nervous system are the oldest cells in your body. You have some ocular nerves that are there since birth, and that's usually why when someone goes blind, usually it's blind for the rest of your life, because those cells take so long to repair. Whereas other conditions like the cells on your tongue, you guys have gotten burnt from like hot chocolate or something, and the next day you're fine, right? That's because your cells in your mouth have like a 12-hour to 24-hour turnaround time. Like those guys are replenishing quick. So, the cells in your stomach also have a shorter lifespan, a couple days, because they get burned up from stomach acid and they need to replace themselves. Your white blood cells are only like 4 to 8 hours sometimes. Your bones are like 15 years, I want to say. Parts of your intestine can be up to 10 years. So your skin, you guys could probably guess it, knowing how fast a tan fades, but it's about 4 weeks is where it starts out. And then as people age, that lifespan gets longer. So by the time someone's over 50, that's now up to 60 days. And then it continues to get longer with the elderly. And so that's why that's where a lot of like pigment differences in pigmentation come from, and wrinkles, and just why the look of skin can change so much. The more you age, it also has to do with the amount of fat you keep that the body stores under the skin. Anywho, but that's kind of a fun, interesting fact about how long skin cells last and why, the tan fades. So my actual last point, that was just a fun fact that you weren't expecting. My actual last point does come back to the safe sun exposure, because as much as Karen and I tout sun exposure, most people are walking around in a body that is deficient in antioxidants, and burning is not good for anyone. So that much is true. Sun, great. Burning, bad. We don't want to burn. And so like we can tout the benefits of the sun all day long, but it is a process getting to the point where you can have longer and longer time periods in the sun unprotected and have a safe outcome on your body. So we typically start people off on 15 minutes a day. And this does depend on the amount of melanin in their skin. Someone who is fairer skin naturally may only need 15 minutes to synthesize their daily dose of vitamin D, which is about 10,000 international IUs of vitamin D. Someone who has more melanin, so like when we work with Black Americans or anyone who's from the Caribbean, it may take them 45 minutes of sun exposure in order to synthesize the same amount of vitamin D. So that is important for when you're working with clients, is just educate them that the more melanin they have in their skin, the longer time they need in the sun to obtain the same benefits or the same outcomes. So that matters, the amount of melanin. Obviously, the level of antioxidants you have in your body, because antioxidants are what combat free radical damage, which is what can happen when UVB rays hit the surface of the skin. So high antioxidant diet, high mineral diet, minerals equal alkalinity. That's the same thing. So if you eat a high mineral diet, you are alkalizing your body. And then, yeah, not putting toxins on the skin. And I know there's some really great skincare, like suntan lotions out there. I got a lot of sun in Hawaii, so I did use a natural sunscreen that my herbalist made for me. I don't even know what's in it. I wish I could tell you that right now. It's some cool mystery blend that was on a base of shea butter. And so she was great with that. But there are some good recipes out there. I know someone mentioned taro, sorry, whatever you call it, the beef product that's like totally trending right now.
Hello?
Tallow. I really see our skincare lady was our guest speaker lady like knows about tallow. So anyway, sorry, I'm not your tallow specialist, but it like I'm all about using what comes from the earth. So I get to learn about that this summer. But yeah, so there are some great recipes out there that can provide an SPF of up to like 15 naturally occurring, which is good. But if someone's prone to burning, I just tell them to cover up, like literally just like wear a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt, and just cover up until their skin is ready for the sun. So that's my 2 cents on safe sun exposure, because there's a right way and a wrong way to up your dose of sun.
Excellent. Susie, just because you asked, there is a great vitamin D product. We love it. It's there's a lot of craziness in the supplement world right now. So we've been doing a lot of research and we chose a wonderful vitamin D supplementation. It's completely pure. No one else has bought out this company. It's great. So we actually do have that. It'll be on our website. And we have 2,000, 5,000 I use and it's wonderful. So I'm very excited to share that with you as well. And by the way, those of you who don't know, Amy and I are doing quick little videos like on all these different products. And so you'll be getting a lot of education on why we chose them. But I wanted to mention that there. So Amy, that was a great call. Thank you so much.
That was really fun. I wasn't expecting you and I to talk the whole time. You and I are kind of talkers though, so it's not
Really?
shocking.
Did I talk too much?
No, but does anyone, I know, I love it, Karen, thank you. Does anyone want to contribute anything to this discussion who's like had breakthroughs in their skincare routine lately and they want to share? The only thing I didn't mention is my favorite moisturizer is 100% pure argan oil. Ta-da! So that's what I use for my facial moisturizer after I like my face gets washed, whatever, a couple times a week. I put on argan oil. You can get it at your local health food store. Just 100% organic argan oil. That's my favorite. But
I got to put that on our list too. Okay.
Okay, what do you guys use?
Tara raised her hand.
Yeah, Tara.
So I make some salve on my own, and I use grapeseed oil, coconut oil, beeswax, and jojoba oil, and calendula flower, but coconut oil. And so I've been kind of fiddling with that. And so I used my friend Andy as a guinea pig. And he had a big patch of like eczema on the back of his neck. And he used some of that and it was gone in 3 days. And I think is it more the coconut oil? Because isn't that also not necessarily the greatest moisturizer, but it also
Microbial?
parasitic or something like that. I think I've read.
Yeah. Coconut oil will never moisturize your body ever, because it's not humectant, but it is antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal. So it's phenomenal for helping the skin get rid of excess fungus and excess bad and negative.
I can seal moisture in, which is why some people. Yeah.
Why do they not? So if you have those issues, or I don't know if plaque psoriasis is the same thing, but why do they not just do they give you a cream for that? Does it have coconut oil in it? Do you know, or are they just?
I have no idea. I mean, why they don't.
Because it was amazing. 3 days and it was completely gone. He showed me pictures.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Instead of taking medication and stuff like that. So all right, that's all I have.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Tara.
Tara, can you see my comment in the chat? I was missing. It was grapeseed, coconut, beeswax, jojoba, and then the calendula. If you can just comment on my comment, please. Thank you. I have a silly question, but does mango butter smell like anything or is it neutral?
It's neutral.
Okay.
I have a bunch here if you want to use it.
It doesn't smell like Bath and Body Works mango.
Sorry, dear.
I'm crushed.
So, anyhow, so thank you guys for joining us today. It's been wonderful having everybody here and look forward to seeing everybody soon.